All right, and how is Jada and Chris? Erica and Jada sunbathe in backyard while Chris video games. What are Jada's goals? At least Erica makes moves and visits her family and stuff. What do Jada want? The most Jada could get out of this relationship or connection is a baby. Great question to end with. Chris and Jada feel, I feel like they may argue the most. They may, if you guys notice too in his patterns, a lot of the girls that he really end up keeping around longer or having around longer are the ones that are the most toxic. I guess the ones that are seemingly more, they're saying volatile, but are more like mean and hateful in some sort of way. Because it's very interesting that like you have Erica, whose energy is like more free flying, and you know I never really pick up on anything bad with Erica. Not to say that her lifestyle is favored either, but it's just something about her personality that's more like, to me, she'd be more highly likely to really get into something and evolve her life into something more that she can really survive off of in the end and have this coming to God moment and like really make her life right. Like some of the other girls that y'all told me about that he dealt with that eventually married and had kids and stuff, Erica give me that vibe. And Charisse here. Charisse has a solid energy about her where she has that ability to do that. It's like he tends to keep around the ones that are needy and probably the ones who don't really have a certain type of or feel like they have a certain type of support in their lives to where he maybe feels like he can control them more. And I'm not just saying that he's holding them captive and just doing that to them. I feel like it's abusive both ways, and on different levels, mentally and emotionally, that could eventually escalate into physically if they're not careful. So to me, the commonality that I'm seeing in all the girls that seem to stick around closer to him, become codependent on him, they're all just alike. In that way. I feel like with Diamond though, Diamond gives me more of Nia vibes, kind of sort of. They kind of like fall in the middle sometimes of whatever, but they're always looking for something else outside of him. Whereas the ones that stay around the longest without, well, there is beef. There is beef. There do be beef with him and Amika, him and Jada and all of that, but if you look, they aren't as daring as Nia and Diamond and all the other girls that venture off and get into their own things. They kind of just sit around and wait for him, or they sit around and show their depression and sadness to use as a way to get their way with him. And what's interesting is that he actually I guess keep them around, or maybe because they're easier to keep around. You know, that could work both ways, because maybe the other girls have bite to them. They kind of just, you know, they're rebellious, and they're gonna test the limits and whatever. Like I feel like Amika has tried, but she gets scared and run back in. And she feels safer. And then with Jada, I think Jada's just becoming that as well, but she's more handsy. Like I said, like I feel like she could get very physical, and her venturing out would be sneaky. Like she will know not to post nothing publicly to get him jealous, just so he could pull her back in, like Diamond and Amika used to do. You know, they'll just post themselves out at clubs or on cruises and around guys and all that, just to get him mad so he can fuss at them and drag them back, and they could feel like, oh, he fought for me. With Jada will linger around like Amika, but on the low, she's already talking to people Chris would not expect. You know, even she's the type that will look for people that will be boss over him. Like she's not gonna, she's the type, if she can help it, or if she could get that access or those opportunities, she'd be the type that will look for people that could tower over him and tell him what to do, and she'll just get pleasure out of watching that guy torture him based off of any kind of story she tell him about them two. Like she will, that's the type of game she'll play. So I feel like you won't ever catch her, and this could stroke his ego, but really it's something to be cautious of. She's not the one that's gonna play these games. I think Ray even played these games too, where they act like they can get other guys or do be getting around other guys and stuff, but it's just to get Chris's attention, to get him to pull them back in. Whereas, like I said, Jada, you probably won't really see a lot of that on her thingy, but she'll do it in the background, because she's gonna really want to look for one that could be boss over him. It's giving like mob energy. Like she'll wanna like a big guy. Like she'll study his fears. So she'll look for CEOs and vice presidents and presidents of businesses and shit that also frequent other CEOs of this and that, where it's like she'll have it set up to where he'd have to answer to them, and then she'll reveal it later that like, yeah, I'm dealing with him or whatever, and I revealed this and that. Like she'll like to trap him in that way, and she has the time for that because he gives her the time and space to be able to do those sorts of things and prepare herself in that way. Because like I said, if you stay in something that's toxic, you'll only get better at your toxicity. Like you'll develop strategies for it and all that stuff. So that's that. I think I answered. Yeah, so for her, no, there's no really no goal. She's very similar to Amika. She's determined that she just wants someone to take care of her. She uses a lot of what she's been through in her past as an excuse and to be relatable to other dark people, other abused people and things like that. I'm hearing mental capacity, like her mental she doesn't have the mental capacity to really hold focus to do anything. And then she do more and more things to get herself into trouble to where she gets depressed. And then she works in the cycle similar to Chris where, her cycle is different than his, and that it's still the same energy, but hers is more about doing things. Oh, I'm depressed, or I'm sick, or I'm sad, or I wish my family was this, and I'm so, playing the victim. And then she just still do things to create more nightmares where she have more trauma, and then she just use all of that to just say like, I've been through so much, no one really loves me, da 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 da. And she used that to be more relatable to Chris in the beginning, and they, to me, feels like bonded off of darkness, substances, partying as an escape, and all those things. But that's pretty much it. Same thing with how he with the Amika energy as well. The only difference is that, well, I guess there isn't really one with Amika and Jada. So yeah, no, I don't see no goals. Her goal is to just siphon someone's energy who has goals or who seem like they have goals. She don't really want someone that's really structured or ambitious in a way where they have a good head on their shoulders. She wants someone like Chris who has come up with a way to function in the toxicity and with taking the substances that he takes, because it's just like this. It's like if someone was to be like addicted to a certain drug, but they're functioning drug addicts in a sense where they still go to work to make money, but then they're stressed from all the things that they're trying to get out of, and so then they just pay for their pain by buying more drugs. And then you have your cheerleaders on the side waiting to get that free ride off of that hard work that you do. So basically you're the person that run out to get the money to keep the lights on and to bring the substances back for everybody to use. Then everybody's fighting each other when the lights are getting cut off or when things are getting bad. But then that one person is the only person, in which case this would be Chris, that has the ability to use his gifts to get back out there to get more of what he needs to bring it back again. And I mean, these are just various ways to look at it. And just because he's on a higher, he gets more money, it still happens. It's still the same energy as if you were in the hood having to do the same thing, making $15, $17 an hour. If you are just recycling that money or in the behaviors in a way that's like in toxicity, then you're just pretty much supporting bad habits and toxicity and everything that comes along with that. So and those people in those situations are going to be there waiting for you to feed it. So that's just, it's sad. What's that saying? Your thoughts reflect the quality of your life. So it pretty much, the quality of his life pretty much shows us what he thinks of himself. For the women he keep around. And y'all heard how the energy, how spirit explained the type of, we seen the patterns. And just like this young lady mentioned and asked, like she said it like, same old, she's just like another Amika, basically. Like we really haven't seen anything different or new in his patterns with women, because again, your thoughts reflect the quality of your life. So if he didn't think much of himself, the quality of his life won't be that high either. So there you guys go. I hope you are learning something from these questions, because that's the goal. We're not going to be lifeless over here or let this energy consume us to nothingness. We're going to take it and turn it into, we're going to alchemize it. And so that's what I'm hoping here. And I will also try to put a disclaimer in the community tab too, to kind of warn you guys. Okay. All right. Well, there you have it.